All right, hello everybody. We are live. Please let me know if you can hear me first. A lot changes with this setup, especially with my power loss and everything over the last couple of days. Just let me know if you can hear me. Um, let me know. And then we can get started. But we are going over the Season 12 SFA Bowl selection. This is really where we decide the user matchups. Everything else is kind of set in stone, but we got to figure out who is playing where. So I just need somebody to let me know that they can hear me so I can go ahead and get started. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, ideally. I don't see anything yet, so we'll see. It says I'm streaming. Okay, Yui's here, cool. So if you are unfamiliar with the SFA and the bowl selection process, at least under our current system, this may change when we go to 12, but basically all of the users who are not in the CFP or do not qualify for the Citrus Bowl get randomly selected to have their opponents. So the 3 bowls that are set in stone is based on the rankings, obviously, are the CFP that's already been released. You have the New Orleans Bowl, which is always the top 2 remaining G5 CPU teams, which is going to be Houston and San Diego State. The Outback Bowl is always the top 2 remaining teams. It was supposed to be Baylor and Arkansas, but we don't do rematches in bowl games, so next team up would be Boston College. And then I always kind of do the next game, which is Arkansas, the Minnesota, and the First Responders Bowl. And these are all, down here, are all temporary inputs. Depending on the results of the top games, Patreon will get to decide their own bowl down here unless we have 2 Patreon users facing each other. So I'll talk to Patreon more about that later. But our official Citrus Bowl this year will be Arizona State and Georgia Southern. So how do we select this? We have 32 user teams who are eligible for bowl games who do not have a placement. And if you've been here a long time, you know that this is what it looks like. I use this site. You type every one of our 32 users in here, and then you give them each 1 ball, and it basically randomizes the draft lottery, okay? So based on where you finish, or based on where you get to pick in the lottery, there's going to be 16 user games. If you finish in the top 16, you'll be able to pick which of these games you get to play in. If you do not, if you're in the bottom half, then you just have to pick then your opponent is chosen for you. Welcome in, Nathan Cardinals. I hope you saw the announcement that Louisville is going to the MAC today. So look forward to that. Should be a big boost for you. But yeah, so we're going to get started here. If you're here, great. If you're not, I'm going to just breeze past you and place you in a game. I do have consistent power right now, have since last night, but if that changes, then I might just have to do this off stream and release them one by one in like the game previews. But here we go. So when I press submit, it randomly did our 32 picks. Okay, so then we go 1 through 32, releasing one at a time. Does that make sense for everybody? All right, here we go. First pick of the bowl season is North Carolina. So that first pick stayed with the first pick. That's kind of funny. So Syralaxis Brio, if you're here, let me know which of these bowl games on the left you want to be in. If you do not answer, you will be in the Latina Juice Gator Bowl. So I normally give about 5 to 10 seconds. North Carolina is a great team. Almost got to their CCG, but lost on a tiebreaker to Miami, unfortunately, the head-to-head. So I do not see Syralaxis Brio here, so we're going to just slot in North Carolina, and I'll fix how it looks later. Actually, I'm just going to type it in, give you guys more time. North Carolina, 8-4. And I don't see him. So that's how it goes. I'm going to just go straight down the line, and then you can pick your game. Now the Latina Juice, it's going to randomly pick his opponent later on. Next up is Florida State. Did these not randomize? All right, if it didn't randomize, I'll start. If it's Pittsburgh next, but if you're here, let me know which game you want. Florida State. I'm pretty sure it randomized. It always does. There shouldn't be any issues, but we'll see. It's just odd luck. All right, I don't see Florida State here, so Florida State is going to be in the free TC Liberty Bowl. 7-5. All right. Next up is we have Michigan State. All right, so McNasty, if you're here, feel free to choose your game. You can pick any of these ones that are highlighted. You cannot choose your opponents. You can only choose what bowl game you play for. So if McNasty, if you're here, let me know. Otherwise, you're playing in the Sicko Sun Bowl. Now, as always, if you're here, if I see you in chat, which I don't, so I'm just going to pencil them in right now. Next up is UCLA. All right, UE. So you get to make your pick. What game do you want to be in? If you can't read the screen, we got the Barkley Las Vegas Bowl, the Yam and Cheez-It Bowl, Pinhead's Quick Lane Bowl, the Mayo Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, Independence Bowl, the SFA Hall of Fame Hawaii Bowl, the LA Bowl, so that's kind of a home game. It is in SoFi. Barstool Arizona Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl, Armed Forces Bowl, Holiday Bowl, or the new one, which is the CC Sportsbook Music City Bowl. Going the Yamin Cheez-It Bowl. Perfect. All right, so it's UCLA. 6-6. Boom. All right. Next up, Texas A&M. All right, Skook, if you are here, you're going to the Las Vegas Bowl unless you choose. It is great news for you going to the MAC. Absolutely. It's going to help you out with your rebuild for sure. Maybe you could be the next Buffalo. All right, I don't see Skook, so Texas A&M, who is 8-4, will be in the Barkley Las Vegas Bowl. All right, so we're going to keep moving on. Utah, all right. Oh, wait, Skook said Alamo. He came in late. All right, so he's going to the home crowd. There we go. I can kind of tell you where they're at. I got you, Skook. I got you, Skook. All right, next up is Utah. So we've got so we got Utah. Is Moon here? Otherwise, he's going to the Las Vegas Bowl. I put you. What? Why are you owning me? I didn't see you say it. All right, I don't see Moon, so we'll pencil him in here. Is okay, Hawaii Bowl. There we go. All right, I might have a little bit more delay than usual. All right, Utah. 8-5. Yep. All right. All right. Next up is we got Tulsa. Tulsa's an inactive user. They're going here. Tulsa. 7-5. All right. Wisconsin. Coach Tribe. If you're here, if you do not say anything, you are going. You're going to the Quick Lanes Bowl. So Wisconsin and Coach Tribe. Going to the Quick Lanes Bowl if you don't pick one of these empty bowl games. Remember, you can't choose your opponent because there are rewards based off results. Wisconsin 7-5. All right, so we're slotting him in the Quick Lanes Bowl, kind of a home game for him. 9, we got SMU, who's another inactive user. So that's gonna be a hard bowl game for some people. 11-2 is rough, so that's gonna be a tough one. 11-2 SMU. Boom shakalaka. Kent State. 6-6. There's just people I know who aren't going to be in the stream. All right, the TCS LA Bowl. All right, Coach Mushbrain, if you are here, let me know which of these games you want to be in. You can go to LA. You can go to the Arizona Bowl. You can go to the Gasparilla Bowl, which I believe is somewhere south. Armed Forces Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, or the Music City Bowl. Tampa. Oh, yeah, the Gasparilla is Tampa. I know that because that's where Florida State wanted to go last year when he was Northwestern. All right, so I don't see him right now. I don't see anyone. So, yeah, if you're here, just talk so I know to wait for you too. I see obviously Jarkus Nick, 6-6 for Northwestern. All right, last couple that get to choose. Oklahoma. All right, Jay Jettas, are you here? Jay Jettas. Jay Jettas, Jay Jettas, Jay Jettas. All right, I don't see him. Oklahoma at 8-4 in the Barstool Bowl. All right, next up is we've got UNLV. All right, UNLV and this is Llama. Is Llama going to the Pash Gasparilla Bowl? It's kind of on brand for him. 9-3. Llama, are you here? Do you want any of these other bowls? Are you good with the Gasparilla? All right, no, I don't see anyone. Okay, continue on. We now got Georgia State. All right, so Coach Bobert, if you're here, you got 3 choices. You want to go to the Armed Forces Bowl, do you want to go to the Holiday Bowl, or the Music City Bowl? I don't think he's here. Pash should change to Imp now that Pash is gone. We can do that. We can go to Imp. Makes more sense. There hasn't really been Pash anything lately. Or, because I think Pash is kind of funny. We already have like an SFAF, and that's all Spark is. So don't we do Pash, because that's actual lore that was made up, and then Imp is the Armed Forces Ball. I think that makes more sense. Anyways, let's keep going on. We can talk about name later. Washington. All right, Coach Damien, if you're here. So, Yui, how do you like that? The Imp Armed Forces Bowl. I think that's a better name for the Murderer Crow people. All right, this was Washington. So, Washington going to the Holiday Bowl. Washington finished 7-5. All right, so the final one now. Nobody gets a choice here. Iowa State and Coach Ron going to the first ever sponsored CC Sportsbook Music City Bowl. Nicely done. All right, so the second half of the games, how it works is it's randomly drawn, obviously. It's already decided, but we don't do conference rematches. So North Carolina and whoever, as long as they haven't played, obviously then or they're not the same conference, because bowl season is traditionally I don't think we've ever had to decide it. I think that there's been rematches in bowls before, so I don't think that matters. So yeah. So we'll see if it happens, but for sure no conferences, because Bowl Mania has always been about conference versus conference, right? So Iowa, first pick, there you go. So Iowa is going to face, so that's a big time one. So Iowa versus North Carolina, the Big Ten champ versus North Carolina. That's a good bowl game. Ohio. That's a fun matchup. The Liberty Bowl. We got Ball State against Michigan State. Another just absolute. If Michigan State somehow lose that game, that would be hilarious. Fresno State. So that is 2 different conferences. And this is kind of lucky. You got 2 of the users in a bowl game in Las Vegas. That's a good one. All right, UE, Penn State. 7-5. That's actually a really good matchup. Very even, very even. All right, who's going to the Quick Lanes Bowl? Coastal Carolina. That's a fun matchup, and I believe CJ Irons will be back for the bowl game. So that will be a tough matchup for Wisconsin. Stingley, I think, also might be back, so we'll have to see. That could actually be a high-powered game. This is probably the game where nobody actually wants to draw it. If you draw this game, you're kind of sad. Illinois, of course. So, all right, so here is the chance, though, for Flame to kind of show what he's made of. He's had a really bad season. So, good chance for Flame here to take out SMU. Next up is we have Kansas against Skook in the Alamo Bowl. That's a fun one. 8-4. All right, Southern Miss now in Kent State. Kind of an easy draw here for B-Dog. Gets himself the Independence Bowl. Kind of a good draw. All right, who's facing the Pac-12 champion? Tennessee. All right, here we go. The SFA Hall of Fame Hawaii Bowl. And this is This is 2 Patreon users, so this is eligible to be the Patreon watch party. So we'll have to see what you guys vote if there's more. Hawaii is not going to the Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii is facing Northwestern in the TCS LA Bowl. That's a fun one. There's Stanford now going against Oklahoma. All right, Gasparillo Bowl. Texas barely got in. Oh boy, that's kind of a fun one too. Texas and UNLV, that's a great matchup. All right, the Armed Forces Bowl. LSU. Georgia State, LSU. We all know Georgia State somehow wins that game. That's kind of funny. All right, Holiday Bowl. West Virginia against Washington. It's another good one. So just double checking my work here, making sure I don't have any repeat or any same conference matchups right now. Just double checking so I'm not a bozo. And then the final team in the first ever CC Sportsbook Music City Bowl is Pittsburgh and Coach Crew. That's a great matchup. And Kiko will be back for that game. All right, so as a so just going back over it, these are the official matchups, or these ones are all official. These matchups down here are going to stay like this unless the committee, or sorry, Patreon decides they want to watch a different game and they want to watch the Lending Tree Bowl and make their own matchup. Or we have Patreon-wise, we have Texas A&M, Kansas, no. Kent State, no. Utah, Tennessee, yes. Northwestern, Hawaii, no. No, and no. Okay, so that is it for the selection show. This VOD will go live on YouTube if you want to watch it a little later on. And as always, these teams in purple are the ones that lost their bowl bid. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys later.